Now, to chat to us about the tournament, we are joined by the Vice President of eSports, Kamo Mbatha. Welcome to Sport on Full View. Thank you for your time. Now, we do know that this year you had doubled the number of aspirant and loving e-gamers that really participated, a total of 64 as compared to last year's 32. Maybe tell us a little bit about the tournament.
Good evening, colleague. Good evening to you at home. Thank you for having me. Well, basically, we had the opportunity to have a municipality back an organization in pitch management that was able to, make sure that we're giving back to the community by giving an esports event where it's a low barrier of entry. Lots of young players already know the FIFA esports brand, so they were very excited, impassioned by it. So getting them to come through wasn't the hard part. Last year, we had to cut the numbers due to COVID, but this year we were able to double them, and that interest was strong. And the participants on the day, we even had about over 20 people who were still waiting to come in, even though it had communicated that it had been oversubscribed. But yeah, lots of interest from the youth. And so we're looking for partners to work with to make sure that we can get more youngsters into the realm of esports.
And talking about the increased interest, we do know that in terms of predictions for esport audiences, they're expected to grow by like 8.7% year on year, reaching 532 million just in 2022. But in terms of South Africa, how big is the sport?
Well, South Africa has always kind of been, looking at esports from afar without, having the requisite full ecosystem. When I say full, it's because, when you look around the world, there's so many ways to commercialize esports in different territories. In South Africa, we've figured out a couple of them, but we still need to obviously make more strides. For our focus, it's about getting more, black and brown faces into the sport, youngsters who didn't think that maybe they can compete at such a high level, but can, because the games that are being played are games that they know already. Obviously, if you go further down the rabbit hole, there are other titles, other competencies in esports that are suited to other skill sets, but we thought this was the easiest way to get youngsters into it and get them onto the train because, it's moving. And already there's events that, South Africans are competing at globally. Unfortunately for us, our Bafana team couldn't qualify for the showpiece event in Denmark, having been part of a very strong group in the FIFA E-Nations. But that already shows you that, we're on the cusp of these great events and being relevant at them. We just need to create a bigger pool of players that we can pull on so that we have a strong as possible team that we can take to competitions such as those.
And we do know that just before the finals, the FIFA phenomenon, Thabo Young Savage Moloi, facilitated a workshop. But what else is being done in terms of development of esports, especially in terms of having programs in disadvantaged communities to expose those, people to esports and make sure that they grow and love the sport?
Well, for us, what's important is having partnerships like we have with the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. They know that they have a facility that is one of the best in the world as far as, having a structure that can host events. And so they thought, let's downscale it. Let's make a hub where youngsters can come in and hone these talents. So that's what we need. We need more partners, more municipalities, more corporate sponsors who are willing to, take charge of this ability and this task to make sure that our youth are empowered with the skills to be able to compete in esports. And I think what's also important is for us to show that there's an ecosystem. Along with Thabo, his manager was there, who was Tulani, to show that there are other support structures and support people within esports. So for youngsters who may not have, the proficiency for the games, there's still so many other people within the fuller ecosystem and roles that need to be played that they can possibly, take up.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kamo Mbatha. He is the Vice President of eSports, chatting to us about the finals of the second annual BayFive eGames, which were held in the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. We'll leave it there for now from the sports desk.